Greetings, YouTube. I'm going to be talking about a comic book movie, so show off my I've Got Issues comic book t-shirt. I'm going to be talking about The Winter Soldier, the second Captain America film. Now, this is not a proper review. This is more of just my thoughts about the film, and there are going to be spoiler-laden throughout it. But I am looking forward to having a conversation about this. Now, I'm willing to let a whole lot pass in a comic book movie. This is the Marvel Universe. Okay, so I'm buying into all of the silly-ass tropes that exist in the Marvel Universe. Slightly more scientific than the DC Universe, but it's still got magic and elves and all kinds of crap in it. So I buy that. Okay. My issue with all of these films is when the real world doesn't behave like the real world. Okay? You've got the real world as your base, and on top of that base you have your fantasy of the comic book universe. But that doesn't eliminate the fact that the foundation for this is the real world, because that's how we relate to it. We, the reader of the comics, and we, the viewer of the film. If it is not based in reality, if it is a film completely divorced from reality, while it would be very interesting, it would be extremely difficult for most people to identify with it and want to watch it. It would be avant-garde art. So since they base it in reality, I want things that are in reality to function like reality. I'm funny that way. Whether it's a novel, or a comic, or a role-playing game, or a movie. Okay, having said that, laying this out for you. I had a lot of fun with this film. I really did. It was a good, rollicking action film. It was enjoyable to see the superheroes get to be superheroes, and Cap is a very good example of, while upholding some really great ethics and moralities, worldviews that are very positive and healthy, he's still a soldier. And he acts like a soldier. He doesn't pull punches, literally. He kills people. Now, they don't necessarily show the aftermath of his actions, but when Cap knocks someone off a ship on the ocean, that guy's dead. Particularly seeing as he was wearing tactical gear and carrying a firearm that was strapped to his body. When he hits someone with that shield at full strength, they die. Because when he throws that shield against an object, he nails it, he buries that into car doors. Okay? You hit someone with that shield, or he kicks someone across the room and bounces them off the wall, they're dead. Okay? They just don't dwell on that. It's a PG-13 film. So he acts like a soldier, and I appreciate that. The opening sequence, when he jumps up the plane, the guy's like, is he wearing a parachute? And the guy's like, no. No, he's not. Was awesome. Because the Cap, with the ocean below him, doesn't need a parachute. He's that tough. So, did I like everything about the film? No! And this will come as zero surprise to anyone who's ever watched any of my thoughts on films. This takes place in the Marvel Universe. Now, it's a fragmented Marvel Universe because of the stupidity of copyright law and the fact that different companies own the rights to different Marvel characters, like the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and Spider-Man off the top of my head. They are owned by different companies. So the Avengers and the heroes that are in the Avengers are owned by Marvel, while companies own the other three properties. Even though all of them should be involved in this storyline, all of them should be involved in every single Marvel storyline, because it is a cohesive Marvel Universe. That pisses me off, and they should fix it. They should find a way to work that out. But within the Marvel Universe, all of the characters that exist in the Avengers storylines, why aren't they in this movie? I understand. You're going to say, oh, it's a film about Captain America. But it still takes place in the real world. The world that the Marvel Universe is laid upon. And when you have a major crisis, you, to quote Gary Oldman, bring me everyone! You bring out the big guns. Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, all of them. Let's forget the big guys for a moment. Maybe they're at Euro Disney on vacation. Where's Hawkeye? He was a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. before Captain America was. Remember Hawkeye and Black Widow? They were a team that worked together on previous missions and had conversations about them, have establishing backstory. Where was Hawkeye? Why was he not involved in this? There should have been a plethora of supporting characters from the other Marvel movie lines. All owned by Marvel, but they weren't in this film. Why? It's a Captain America film. This was stupid. Those 3 helicarriers that they were in the film could have been completely obliterated by the Avengers. Gone. You can still do a solo movie. You just have to do a different kind of solo movie. Maybe one that doesn't involve Hydra. Yes, I know Captain America beats up on Hydra people. It's what he does. I get it. He can't kill Nazis, so he's going to beat up on Hydra. I don't know why they want to avoid Nazis. The Nazis were the bad guys. It's okay to beat up on the Nazis. Alright? We beat them. We know the outcome. It's not speculation. It would have been okay for Captain America to beat up on the Nazis. They were bad people. But no, they have to create the Hydra as part of the branch of the Nazis so we could beat up on a fictitious group of racist super soldiers that want to take over the world. Okay. Now, in the first Captain America movie, the only metahumans were essentially Captain America and the Skull, Red Skull. Okay, I got no problem with that. I can't complain about them not bringing new Marvel characters in, because in that particular version of the Marvel Universe they were presenting us, there pretty much weren't any. But this one does! They're everywhere! You can't walk down the street without bumping into a Marvel superhero in the Marvel Universe. And yet, none of them are in this film. Now, the Winter Soldier himself was kind of cool. What they did with him was kind of cool. My wife thought that the whole big flashy fight scene was a little boring. She's kind of bored by that. And the whole "Hail Hydra" whispering to each other she thought was very silly. And I have to agree with my wife on that one. It was kind of silly. But it was dumb that they didn't have more of the other characters. Now, there were great moments. He's in the elevator. We brought the fart scene, and he says, "Before this starts, does anyone want to leave?" And there were good banter and quips between other characters. A lot of fun. I enjoyed that. Very well done. And there were some touching moments when Falcon and Cap are discussing being veterans and the experiences they've had. Those are real experiences. These are the experiences that real veterans live through. And that was great, because that was showing in a way that maybe a lot of people aren't really aware that the results of our warfare, of our actions, have ramifications for those that follow those orders. And presented it in a way that wasn't overbearing, it wasn't heavy-handed, but it was reality. I was very impressed by that. It was a nice touch. My wife was interesting. She's like, anybody just walk into one of those meetings of veterans? And I said, yeah, that's kind of the point. If you can't walk into one of those meetings and just sit there and listen, and you may have to sit there and listen for a year before you're willing to step up and say, I don't sleep at night. That's kind of the point. To give you a safe space that you can speak in. Overall, it was fun. We must take out these helicarriers. There's 3 of them. There's 3 of us. That was a little corny. They could have done better. The thoroughness of Hydra was silly. No, there is no way in the real world that any organization can stay secret for 70 freaking years in America. Americans are braggarts. Americans like the Type A personalities that they had that were members of Hydra. You telling me those guys don't get drunk and brag about things in bars? That was dumb. There's no way this organization could stay secret at all. I think was it Zolkov, the AI in the film? He was one of the researchers in the first film. I think they kind of wasted him though. I think they could have done more with him. Nice idea. I just think they. I think they. If we're going to use a sexual metaphor, I think they blew their load early on that one. They could have used him better in a later time. Maybe they can bring him back again. Maybe he had a backup copy or something. But I think they could have used him better. But overall, I liked the film. I just was really disappointed with what they didn't do, and with what they didn't include, and some of the silliness of the whole secrecy and lack of superheroes and things like that. But they made some good points. The politics were, you know, slap in the face kind of thing, but they were there. Since I'm a firm believer in the Fourth Amendment, and that we should not surrender our any of our freedoms in the hopes of gaining fictitious security, I'm kind of opposed to most of the things that Captain America was opposed to. You don't rule through fear. The best response to cowardly attacks is bravery. And if I can quote a Captain American comic, that when the whole world tells you something is wrong, you know it's right. And the whole world tells you to move. It's your job to plant yourself like a tree next to the river of truth and look at the world and tell them, no, you move.